Okay, listen to my happy story for today. So a friend of mine who has service dogs or emotional support dogs, right? So she she lives in a very rural part of Belize, and what ended up happening was she wasn't home one day, and somebody that lives with her left the door open. Anyway, her service support dog got out. Right now, it's a little. I think they're poodles. I think that's what they are. Anyway, they're that kind of looking dog, small dog with the curly hair. So what ended up happening was couldn't find the dog. Everybody searched, couldn't find the dog. Looking all through the streets, the jungle, everywhere, couldn't find the dog. So, you know, we're thinking it's dead. But then I said, in Belize, you would either see the dog hit on the street or it might be just lost in the jungle. But if it's lost in the jungle, not too long. But that kind of dog, somebody probably took it. Anyway, 10 days go by. Can't find a dog. My friend is distraught. I'm distraught. I'm over here like, oh man, because I know how much that dog means to her, and I know how my animals, when something happens to them, how it makes me feel. And she's much more attached than I am. You think I'm attached? Ooh, she's really attached. So when this was really bothering me, I was like, oh man. So then she calls me 10 days later. They were driving. Listen to this. They were driving by. Her friend was in her vehicle, driving in her vehicle. Now, if she had been driving, she wouldn't stop the car. So what happened was they were driving by and the police were on a manhunt looking for an escaped criminal, right? So they see the police cars pulled up on the side of the road. This, jungles on the side. And then what happened? I think I'm getting the story right. They see people out, police out with guns, big white guy out with big old guns or shotguns and all kind of stuff. And they got this criminal and they put him in handcuffs, something like that. Anyway, so the guy driving her vehicle pulls over to see what's going on. He's Belize. Now, she's from the States, so she's like, what the freak? We don't do that. We see guns, we run. We ain't pulling over to see what the freak going on. So he pulled over to see what the freak was going on. And she's mad. She's like, what the hell? He gonna get me killed out here today. So, anywho, he goes over and asks the cops, what's going on, yada, yada, yada. They tell him what's going on. In the midst of that, while he's talking to the cop, what did he see? Her little dog comes walking up the jungle like, hey, mama, where you been? All right? So he goes, hey, is this your dog? She's like, oh, don't be playing no games with me. Then she looks out the car. Oh, shoot, that's my dog. Oh my gosh. Do you know how many things had to line up? That was divine intervention. Do you know how many things had to line up for this to work out? Had she been driving instead of him, there's no way she'd have ever pulled over with all the people with the big old guns out to say, hey, what's going on? Because we don't do that in the States, okay? So that would have never happened. And that's where the dog was. But somebody had that dog because the dog wasn't super emaciated or super small, like it was in the jungle, not knowing where to, find anything to eat. So somebody had it, it just got away. But all the things that had to line up, he had to be driving at that time, somebody else driving and not her, okay? The cops finding the criminal at that time, at that spot, which makes the friend pull over in that spot to be nosy, and here the dog comes out like, is that my mama I'm smelling? Girl, that's my happy moment story today. Love it.